Hello, Chrissy.
Hi.
I'm not introducing the podcast usually like this because obviously we're both recording for our podcast today,
Yeah, we are.
which is super exciting. How are you?
I'm all right, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Recovering from illness. Standard for me, it seems to be the last 6 months, which is emotional.
Because you have mash on your roast, mate.
Mate, I can't actually believe. So Chrissy's in the group, obviously, and Chrissy thinks that mash doesn't belong on a roast, and most people agreed with you. Whereas when I did it on Instagram, most people agreed with me.
Yeah, but that must be because I'm right.
No, you're just a weirdo. But anyway, I'm not getting into it because
Because we're going to be arguing about this until I'm 90 and you're 80.
this is a you problem.
Okay. Anyway, carry on.
So today on this podcast, we are going to be talking a little bit about shoot prep, extreme goals, and Chrissy's journey because we've been working together since the new year.
Mhm.
And initially, it wasn't a shoot on the horizon, but then when I booked a client shoot, you were like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna jump on." And yeah, what were your initial thoughts when I obviously said, like, do you want to jump on a shoot?
I don't know why my dog has decided it's time to come and say hello. It must be because he's not spoken to you for ages. Sorry about this. Um, Initially, so obviously we've been friends through your shoot prep.
Yes.
And so I saw your shoot prep, and last year was a real performance goal year for me. I did a lot of running, I did a high rocks, I had a lot of events, and performance prep is completely different to aesthetic prep. And I knew I didn't want to do any events this year. Um, And when you put it in the group, I was like, oh, well, I may as well see what I can do because I wouldn't do it on my own. I
No.
wouldn't do it on my own. If I organized one for my clients, I wouldn't prep. I would focus on it. It would all be about them. So it was almost like the opportunity was there. And I actually didn't give it much thought at all, did I? I just hit the button.
Yeah, hit the button. Here we are. And I was quite shocked that you did because obviously you spent such a big chunk of your year last year performance chasing that I'd thought that you were gonna have like a bit more of a chill, which we will after the shoot, I promise. But when you jumped on it, I was like, I know that we could do a very good job. And honestly, mate, you've absolutely smashed it. Do you know, like to say, like you do have a busy life. You are a very busy business owner. You are perimenopausal. And I don't know. I think you've just handled it really well. And I think no matter what life has thrown at you in the last 3, 4 months, this has never been a second option. It's always been, yeah, that's prioritized, that prioritized, that prioritized, which for a lot of people it wouldn't be. But even in your situation, I was thinking, oh shit, the stress levels are going to be through the roof. We're going to have to take a step back a minute. But you're like, yeah, steps have been nailed, food's nailed, and I'm like, whoa, right, okay, this is like number one, and I'm like, I'm buzzing.
It's so funny, isn't it, how you never view your own handling of a situation the way other people do.
What would you say you've handled it like?
Uh, well, I think because we're friends, as well as you're coaching me, sometimes the lines can blur a little bit. But I think there's been times when I've been like, oh my God, I can't do this. But perhaps not so much about the shoot, it's about other things, I think, sometimes.
I think that's just about like general life and like everything. I just, honestly, like, I don't believe, like, you might have been thinking it in your head, like, oh, I can't do this, but you've never once said to me, like, nah, scrap it. You've still texted me and said, I've done my steps, my nutrition's been on track. If anything, I haven't eaten enough today, or still smashed my workouts. And it's almost like I know that you've already got it built into your routine, but this is like another level, and you've just kind of took it on the chin, and it's been amazing.
Thanks.
Chrissy doesn't take compliments well.
No, I'm getting better.
What do you think's the hardest part of the shoot prep's been so far?
Um, I'm not going to say it was my holiday because it wasn't. Um, I think for me, we're a really social family. So it's been, and I anticipate it being for the next 5 weeks, managing social occasions. And I've cut out alcohol. So I'm not drinking. So it's not even alcohol. It's just we are a big foodie, get together on a Sunday, have a roast dinner and pudding and that kind of family. So that has been a challenge.
It's 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 hard, isn't it? Because I think in any normal transformation or any plan, usually, if you haven't got such an extreme goal or something in place, those things can still happen. And obviously they were for the first few months. Like we were like, yeah, still have your on-track meal, but obviously with an extreme goal, and this is something that I always like say to people when they do set goals is, are you willing to sacrifice the things that you usually do? Because obviously with a normal client who hasn't got a shoot books or anything, it's more about compromise. But when it comes to a goal like this, it has to be a sacrifice. And unfortunately, we've got to be realistic with if you're not willing to sacrifice, then you have to be happy with the outcome.
Yeah.
And I know that's the same with anyone, but I think with a prep, I think you've got to like accept that things have got to be literally cut. And I did say on Chrissy's check-in this morning that no off-plan meals now from now to the shoot.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't check my diary for that.
Unlucky, you'll be taking Tupperware with you, mate.
Yeah, thank God it's not my birthday before the shoot.
And we've just planned to go out for burgers or gyros for after the shoot as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're here for my birthday weekend, so
Legendary.
Yeah, it is like the way that I would talk to my clients is about compromise and sacrifice. And actually, there's, for my clients, a sacrifice might be, that no, you don't go out and get really drunk 2 nights in a row or whatever. But it is way more about compromise. And for me, I don't feel like drinking has been a sacrifice. In fact, the benefits I've found from not drinking far outweigh. I love a good red wine, I love a gin and tonic, but they far outweigh that. For the next 5 weeks, if I have to turn up at the family dinners with my own dinner, it's fine. They all know. Like we were all together yesterday, and they watched me sit there with my fillet steak and my broccoli and my soda water while they're all tucking into roast dinner or steak and chips. So they know why. I think a lot of people don't understand it. I'm really lucky that my brother understands because he's done it, and that I've got a really supportive husband.
Yeah. And that's a key, I think, with any goal, regardless of how like extreme it is, your environment's everything. And I think it's you've got to take that with a pinch of salt as well, though, because a lot of people like don't have supportive families. Like they will like say, "Oh, it's only one day. Don't be boring. Or just have a glass of wine," and things like that. And I think that's where having a coach sometimes comes in because you can be like, right, you might not have the environment at home, but you might have the environment of your coach,
Yeah,
of the coaching group, things like that. But yeah, you are lucky. Like even you going to your mother-in-law's next Sunday for Easter, and your husband straight away will just take our own food, which is unheard of. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
I go to my in-laws, and I remember once I were on prep, and I just ate meat and green beans. They were like, "Is that all you're eating?" It's like, "Yeah, I am."
yeah.
But it takes a lot to be able to say that because you feel like the outcast, even though you know you're doing it for your own benefits.
Yeah. Things I've had from people when I've turned down drinking or whatever. Are you pregnant? Why have you given up drinking? but mainly it's, are you pregnant? No,
Absolutely not.
absolutely bloody not.
I think when you give up drinking for a period of time, though, once you do drink, you feel a million, million, million times worse.
Oh yeah, oh
Like
yeah.
I could now.
What, you don't think you could give up drinking? Or you
No, I
don't?
don't think I don't think I could do it all the time. Like
No.
I had a couple of drinks on holiday, and luckily I only had a couple, so it didn't actually affect me. But I think a heavy night would send me absolutely under.
Oh yeah. It's so hard. So hard.
So
But it's
you
such
definitely
a
on.
complicated thing,
Oh
alcohol.
God, yeah, and your relationship with it as well.
Yeah.
But so you haven't missed alcohol. What food have you missed the most?
Biscuits.
Really?
Yeah, I love biscuits. But I generally don't buy them anyway because I just can't control myself around a digestive or a hobnob.
Hobnobs all the way, especially the caramel ones.
I've never had a caramel one.
What?
Don't mess with perfection.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to buy you some for after the shoot.
So I've definitely missed biscuits. I'm still having a bit of chocolate every day, like just one square of chocolate.
Yeah.
Um, Things like I really enjoy baking, and I'm blow my own trumpet. I'm really good at baking. Like I make good cake, and I enjoy really well made cakes and brownies and things like that. So on Saturday night, we took my parents out for dinner, and then afterwards we walked to a pudding. It's called the Pudding Stop nearby, and got them all, brownies and blondies and stuff like that. And I just didn't have any. And my dad was like, "Oh my God, I've never seen you like this before." And I was like, "It's fine. I'm happy you're enjoying it. I'm okay with my Greek yogurt."
But it's short term, it's not a long term thing. And I think that's the difference because obviously, especially for your clients and my clients like that aren't prepping for a shoot, that if you do want an extreme goal at some point, it might be to like ramp it up for a holiday or and I know we don't advocate for just dieting for holidays, but say that you wanted to ramp it up a little bit, like that short term without that cake is okay because it's going to get you quicker to your goal. You're going to feel better for it. And also, when you do have it, you're going to realize that you don't need it all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think you have to accept if you do commit to an extreme goal as such that you need to understand that it's short term. It can never be a long term thing. And I got asked this question actually on one of my check-ins, excuse me,
Mm.
a few weeks ago about like what's better, going hard for a short period of time or going sustainable for a long period of time. And sustainable for a long period of time always wins because it's going to last longer and you're going to learn a lot more. Whereas short-term gratification, you've got to accept it's going to be hard or go home and then you can ease back into normal life. And I think, how are you feeling about post shoot?
Um, I've probably not given it a huge amount of thought. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I've not given it a huge amount of thought. I think something that this has probably taught me is that I'm mentally stronger than I thought I was in when it comes to food. Like I've done a lot of work around my relationship with food. I think post shoot, my focus will be like trying to get to a level of maintenance that I've probably never been able to get to.
Yeah. And that's something that we're going to massively focus on. Like the way that I always approach a shoot, like a post shoot phase, I'll be honest with you, first time I gained £10 in a weekend. I must have had about 10,000 calories in one day. I literally, because obviously it was my first one, literally finished, ate brownies, rosy baked brownies for straight after. Went straight to Starbucks and got my favourite frappe. Came home, and had a big picky bits dinner. And then that night had sort of like, I don't know, or we went and picked up pizza from town. And it was like one of them massive deep dish, huge, horrible pizzas. Garlic dough balls, wedges, everything. Drank loads of alcohol. Ate a loaf of bread with balsamic vinegar. A full tub of Biscoff ice cream. Mate, I went hard.
Not ill.
Mate, I were. I woke up at 1 in the morning and was sick everywhere.
Oh no. Yeah, no, I'm not going to be like that.
No, but it was my first shoot and I went hard and I was like, right, blah, blah. But I put so much focus on food that I missed it so much. Whereas I think because I've grown out of that, I've tried to take that focus, especially when I'm coaching, the focus away from food so much because it's the worst thing that you can do. And I think every shoot that I've done, I've got better. And I think I'm a better coach from being able to manage that. But honestly, now I think post shoot wise, and obviously it's not something we've discussed because obviously that we get to it, enjoy a couple of days, and that's how I'm gonna say like, look, go and enjoy a couple of days. Like obviously we're going for burgers after. You'll probably feel like shit. I'm not gonna lie. Sunday go home or Saturday evening go home, have some good food with your family on the Sunday, do whatever you want, and then I'd probably say let's get back to diet.
Yeah.
Let's see how your week pans out. Let's get that water weight off, and then that's when we'd start to gradually up your food because you'll be surprised at how much food you can put away at maintenance. But because you've never got to that lean point where your body's literally like, feed me, we'll literally like get the water weight back off, get you back down to shoot weight, and then it'll be like, right, let's add a few more carbs, let's add a little bit more fats, and then we'll slowly take it up week by week, and then we'll get to a point where you're like, right, I can eat this much food, I'm maintaining week on week, my performance is better, I'm stronger. And then that's when you get to a point of like, right, what's the new goal? Is it you want to grow a little bit, or is it you want to stay at this? Do you want to have flexibility on a weekend so you can have a glass of wine? Right, well, we'll reduce calories through the weeks that you've got that flex. Things like that. And I think it's such an important thing that people don't realize. And I see it over and over again on socials. And I've done it 3 times, put loads of weight on because I'm just like, fuck it, let's eat the world. I'm
Yeah.
such a foodie though, mate. I am honestly such a foodie.
This must be so easy for people that aren't foodies.
Yeah.
It must be. I was having this conversation over the weekend. I think it was with my parents, with just there are people in the world that literally eat because it's a function of being a human and they're not foodies.
Which blows my mind because
Yeah, it
food
blows,
tastes so good.
yeah, it blows my mind.
Like it really angers me if I go out for a meal and it's shit. I'm like, what a waste.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
need good food in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a joy.
It really is. And I think, when you give somebody a diet plan, you say, I'll give you a diet plan and it says chicken and rice. I'm like, that's just the amount of food you can have. You can mix it up and you can make some really fucking good food with those macros. It's just about being a little bit creative.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I'm definitely trying to do. Like, if I take Tupperware to my mother-in-law's on Sunday, it'll be a really nice meal that I'm going to take with me. But it doesn't have to be boring. You do have to be organized though.
Yeah. If you're not, you end up starving because you end up with a packet of ham or something and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to die because I've had no veg with it.
I don't eat ham, so
Or chicken, whatever, pack of chicken. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I was really shocked. I know that you probably heard Ellie talk about the app Yuka that checks how good and bad stuff is. How the difference between a chicken breast and cooked chicken breast that you buy.
what the yucks in the cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The quality is unbelievably bad.
Yeah, terrible. I never buy unless I'm desperate, I
Yeah.
never buy it ready cooked.
It's very rare that I do now just because it's full
Yeah.
of shit.
Yeah.
How have you found your fatigue levels? I know that this week's the first week that your calories have dropped massively, but how have you found your fatigue since we started?
Well, I think one of the things to say is that I've really worked on my sleep since January. So, you know, unapologetically going to bed when I need to go to bed and not thinking I need to stay up just to keep Tom happy or whatever. Um, so I think a lot of my fatigue has been driven by me trying to get that sleep right rather than lower calories. Um, I always tell you when sleep has been bad. But I was saying this to my brother when we were out walking yesterday. One thing, I've never missed a workout, apart from being on holiday and in January when I got ill, but we weren't even talking about a shoot then. I've never missed a workout. So I don't think my fatigue has ever been so bad that I'm like, oh my God, I can't do anything.
No, I feel like we've managed it really well, haven't we? And I think it's important as well, like you told me from day one, I can do this many workouts on these days, and these are the only days that I can do. And I think that's something that people really, really don't think. You know, like when they go to a coach or if they're Googling best workout program to
Yeah.
get, they don't take into consideration their life or what they are actually capable of. So when you came to me and you said, look, these are the days that I could do, you're gonna have to make it work around them. I only had that option. And it's fitting really well with your life because that's when you already went to the gym anyway, which obviously a different kind of plan.
Yeah, I can't, there are certain days I just can't make it because I've got to get Charlie up for school. Well, he gets himself up, but I can't just go on a Wednesday and leave him here to sort himself out because I'd probably come home and he wouldn't be in school. So it has to work. And so, thinking of the thing that I'm thinking at the minute around like the upping of my cardio is how am I going to get these fit in? How am I going to get this to fit in so that I'm not spending an hour and 45 minutes in the gym on a Saturday and a Friday? Because it's all right this week because it's the school holidays, so I can jump on the stepper for 15 minutes after my workout tomorrow and Thursday. But then next week, when the schools are back, like one of the things that I really value is being back from the gym on a Tuesday and a Thursday and being able to walk with Charlie to the bus stop and walk the dog with Tom. Like they're important to me. So I have to make that choice. Is it for 4 weeks that I just don't do that? Or is there another way that I can fit cardio in?
And
So
what's the answer?
I haven't got one yet.
Right, okay. Well, we will
I'll,
discuss that
yeah, I'll worry about that like next week.
next Monday.
Or like try to I don't know, go on marketplace and try and find myself a bike to stick in the corner. Not really a corner in my office, but
Yeah, that's exactly what I had to do because I just don't have the time. Like I used to, especially like on when I'm prepping and stuff like that, it was like, right, well, I'll go to gym and get on Stairmaster and stuff. But now I've got Hugo and stuff, I haven't got time. And you've got to understand that about people's lives. Anyone that gives you a plan that doesn't suit your life and what you're doing, it's not right for you. And I think I paid 50 quid for this bike and it's not the best, but it works and I get on it every day and it's 30 minutes, do you know what I mean? And it saves me having to drive to the gym. It's just a game changer. And I think they're the things that you've got to, whatever your goal is, make sure that you've got something in place that suits you. And I'm going to advise you buy a bike.
gets on marketplace and tries to find a bike. And then tries to work out how she's going to tell her husband why there's a bike.
I mean, you can blame me.
Just don't know where it's going to go.
Just behind you there under that board.
Uh, this is really deceptive. Like I'm nearly touching the wall. There's no room.
Oh, just point it sideways, it's fine. You'll have to do it. You have to do it. Unlucky.
Okay. If anyone listening has an exercise bike for sale, please just let me know.
What would you say to someone who is considering a shoot?
So there was one thing I really liked, and I don't think it was in the first like couple of questions you asked, but it was when you sent out the question, like a little Google form asking us to fill in like how, you know, I think it was why do we want to do it and how far do we want to go. I really like that because I can't remember what the options were now, but it was something like shredded AF, look like I train. There were options, and I think I've done shoots with my clients that aren't like this. They weren't in a gym, they were in a really natural setting. But the point of them was to really show my clients how much confidence they should have and how beautiful they were, right? And I put no one on prep for those things. You can do these kind of things and they don't have to be you in shorts showing off muscles with a tan. You even asked us, didn't you, do you want to tan before? um and so, like, think about the reason why you want to do it, and also think about how you want it to look, because it doesn't have to be extreme. And I think probably I've pushed for this to be more extreme than I started.
Yeah.
That's been my choice. um so I think always think about your why. Same with any goal, think about your why. And then if you want to do it and you decide you're going to do it, just be aware that there are going to be things you have to compromise on, and they're likely going to be things you have to sacrifice on, and it's for a limited amount of time.
Yeah, 100%. And like you said there, I definitely, one of my clients wanted to do a shoot, and I was like, right, let's do it. What kind of goal do you want? And then obviously it was more about Hugo's crying. Will you just hold the fort, keep
Yeah,
going?
I can hold the thought or the fort. She's opened the door and she's got loads of sparkly things outside the door. Um, yeah, you have to think about what your goal is. You have to think about where you want to get to, why you want to do it, for sure. But also, like, think about how you want it to be, because it doesn't have to be extreme. And to begin with, I wasn't going extreme, but then I messaged Laura while I was on holiday last week and I was like, okay, I'm ready for you to be a bit more aggressive with me now, which she loved, by the way.
Oh, I did. Up to that cardio, reduce them calories. The thing, I think, I don't know if you've just mentioned this while I had to run away. Um, but the reason I didn't make any drastic changes within the middle part was because your stress levels were so high. And I think that's something to note as well. Like if you as a client or you think about doing anything goal wise, if your stress levels are through the roof, the last thing that I'm going to do is increase that stress by reducing calories, increasing cardio, because not just from a mental standpoint, but also from a physiological standpoint as well, because no matter what stress your body has on it, whether it's a broken toe, whether it's family stress, whether it's physical stress, whether it's work stress, whether it's sleep stress, all of those stresses, your body does not know the difference between it. It is just cortisol, it is just stress. So if you're mentally stressed, and then I start to cause more stress by reducing calories, that's double stress. So your body's not going to work with you. Your sleep's going to likely be shit. Your recovery's likely going to be shit. So all of these things all add up, and I think that's something that's really, really important, that stress levels need to be kept to a minimum as much as we possibly can within times like this. So that's why for a good 3, 4 weeks it was like, right, we're not going to make any changes simply because I want to keep your stress levels down. But I didn't actually voice it to you because you were quite stressed, and I thought, let's just keep moving. Let's just keep moving. But then now, obviously, you're in a position where you've just been on holiday, you're a little bit more chill, and your stress levels are down, and you're ready to push harder. It's like, right now, I am ready to absolutely kill you off. And I literally said on your voice note this morning, didn't I? Look, there's no messing now. We've got no room for anything. It's time to get your foot down on the gas, and we're going.
Yeah, she's scary.
It's hard, isn't it? And I think with you, I can be a little bit more forward with
Mm.
tough love because you are a coach, because we're friends. Sometimes, like you said earlier, the lines can be blurred a little bit because obviously we chat as friends, but then it'll switch to a coaching chat. But I've obviously got everything in my mind that I know that you're stressed with, like other stuff because we're friends as well. Um, but now I know that can be tough love for the next 4 weeks, 5 days.
Yeah. There was one time, I don't know what it is, but I've got this thing about squats at the minute. Actually, it's probably gone now, but I had this thing about squats, and I think it was like a bit of a metaphorical block for what else was going on in my life at the time. And I messaged her on a Friday. I go to the gym with my husband on a Friday, and I said I don't want to do the squats, and she was like, get the fuck under that bar and get them done. And I was like, I don't need that, Laura, right now.
I know,
I
man.
did.
I
I
felt
did.
so guilty afterwards as well because I didn't realise that it was like an actual genuine. I thought you were just being like, I don't really want to do squats today. And I was like, fucking get them done. And then you were like, no, 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 I need a different Laura today. I'm like, all right, it's okay.
I
We can
still
switch
did them.
today. You did
I
them.
still
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Nah, you've smashed it, mate. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for what we're gonna bring. And it's quite normal at this point as well to have like thoughts of, am I going to be lean enough, or what am I going to wear, or am I going to have done enough? Like I personally, I think that you've done the absolute best with every situation that you possibly could. Like there's not many people that go away 5 days and literally be the best that they could. A lot of people will just be like, oh yeah, this is gonna have to wait and go on holiday. But you haven't done that. So I think whatever outcome we bring, you've done your 100% best. And I said to you on check-in this morning, I think you could do a shoot next Saturday, come in with a little bit of manipulation and messing about this week, you would feel amazing. There's no doubt about it. So 5 weeks is going to be
I think the water manipulation is what I'm scared of
why.
because you're not going to let me drink, are you?
Yeah, so it's not as intense as you think it. Obviously, like
Like
for
water.
me, I actually forgot to bring a drink to this podcast as well. I'm fuming. So for me, obviously, like I did it very, very extreme. I was taking lots of caffeine supplements and things like that. Obviously, that all got taken away. No, you're not doing them. Don't worry. She's like saying no to me. You're absolutely not doing them. Um, so obviously, like it was all very extreme, and I was very like feeling unwell, really. But the whole process now is so we've upped water a lot to make sure that everything's flowing through as it should. Your muscles are extra hydrated. Everything is hydrated as much as it possibly can. And then once we get to the shoot, what we'll do is we'll increase water. So like the week before, we'll start to increase water because we want to be flushing almost. So your body gets into a state of flushing water out. So because you're putting so much in, you're pushing so much out. And it also gets rid of
I told you that word. So
subcutaneous. So the water between obviously your muscles and your skin is to get rid of that subcutaneous water. Is that right? Did I say it right? I said it right. So what we'll do is increase that water, get your body in a flushing state. Then the day before the shoot, we'll reduce to a normal amount. Your body will still be in a flushing state, and then the night before the shoot, we will go to like sips of water only. It won't be a complete dehydrate, just sips of water. Keep hydrated, but obviously, the drier you will look the following morning.
and it's all fine, everyone, because I'm staying at Laura's house on the Friday before the shoot anyway, so she's going to be the one that's going to have to deal with my moaning.
Oh, it's all right. I'm going to turn the water supply off to the house. Don't have any secret runs to the bloody sink.
There you go. And
Uh,
Rosie's making brownies.
oh, mate. Millionaires, shortbread,
Million shortbread.
Biscoff brownies.
That's it.
I think, whatever. They're all going to be incredible anyway.
Exactly.
Have you got anything to add or anything, any questions you want to ask?
Um, well, I had a little meltdown about fats a few weeks ago. That's probably something I'm struggling with. is really keeping an eye on my fat, because I never really worried about fat before. Not because fat makes you fat, by the way.
No, fat doesn't make you fat. The thing is with fats, because they're already a triglyceride, they're easy to convert to fats, basically. That is the thing. However, women, well, all people need fats in their diet because for hormonal function, vitamin carrying, loads of stuff. However, obviously when we're prepping for a shoot, like naturally, I reckon 40 grams of fat for you, it'd be quite like a decent level of fat for you. Obviously, we're dipping at like 30, like if not below on your rest day. Um, so for a short amount of time, it is okay, but hormonally, you're going to function better with more fats.
Yeah.
But naturally, fats are like 9 calories per gram as opposed to 4 for protein and carbs. So it's a really easy way to reduce calories.
Yeah. So at the moment, my challenge is, because I eat fish, Laura doesn't eat fish. So day when I'm planning to have salmon, I actually have to just have chicken, because it's just I can't, or not have salmon on a rest day, which was my mistake for today. So I'm not having salmon for tonight, but never mind.
Salmon's so high in fat, and like obviously, you go into the argument of, but it's a good fat. It is a good fat, but when you've got an extreme goal,
Yeah.
you have to watch your fats. And I think in any goal anyway, like even if you are generic Joe from down the street who's trying to lose weight, my argument always is you still want to be looking at your fats. You don't have to look at it as much as protein, but you can't be eating 100 grams of fat just because it's healthy fats.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's that. There was that. Oh, and then for me, just like this is when meal timings have been so important for me. I was really struggling on training days because I almost have one almost was having one less meal, but it wasn't really one less meal. I was having the same amount of meals, but after a training session I was having my cocoa pops and protein powder, which will forever be staying in my diet because it is the best post workout ever. But I'm having that at 7:30, which is way earlier than I have my breakfast normally. So then I was getting starving through the day and only having, what was it, another 4 meals or something, or 3 meals, and it just wasn't enough. So we've split that up. So we'll see how that works tomorrow.
And that's another thing as well, like people try and survive on 3 meals a day with no snacks or anything, and then wonder why they are literally running to the shop for every bag of crisps going. Because if you eat your breakfast at 7:30, like you do, there is absolutely no way in hell that I will be able to go till 12:30 without
Yeah,
having a meal. Like there's no way. I always try and say leave 2, 3 hours between meals just so your blood sugars can all resume back to normal and all digestion's good. But it is very important to keep yourself satiated because if you don't, that's when you're going to be like ravenous and going for snacks. And that's why you had to say to me like, Laura, I'm getting to 3 o'clock and I am starving.
yeah, yeah. And I guess thinking about outside of extreme dieting, like one of my big things is always up your protein in those 3 meals, up your protein. But also, if you're having your breakfast at 7:30, don't try and make it till 12:30 without a snack. But it's when you see people having like 200-calorie breakfast, 200-calorie lunch, 400-calorie dinner, and then 800 calories in snacks. That's what we don't want. But yeah,
And I think the key to that is just planning. If you
yeah,
can have a rough idea whether you track your calories or not, because I know that some people don't like to track the calories, but if you can plan, right, this is my breakfast time, this is my lunch time, right, can I take, I don't know, some Greek yogurt and some granola for 10:30? Can I do that? Yeah, I can. And would that save me eating a chocolate bar, a bag of crisps, bag of whatever else? Probably
yeah,
because you've got your protein in there, something sweet, you enjoy it.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
Can I just say your chest is looking shredded?
My pecs are bigger than my boobs are.
Same. I sent Chrissy a picture of me on my wedding day with no top on the other day, and she said, "Oh, I've found someone with smaller boobs than me." I was like, "Yes, that is me."
Small boobs for life, babe. Small boobs for life. One of my clients checked in earlier and she was like, despite all the fat loss, my boobs haven't really changed size. I was like, good for you.
Mate,
Please, honest.
when I was 22, I went to the med centre. I might have been a bit older, maybe 23. Went to the med centre because, I said to him, old lads keep taking piss out of my small boobs. I think I need a boob job. Me with boob job, what the hell? So, you know what the doctor said to me?
Oh,
He,
just can you die quietly, please?
sorry, the doctor said to me, you can go to Marks and Spencer's and they do some really good bras with some really good padding that'll make you feel better. I was like, what the hell?
Listen, I'm wearing my TikTok padded bra. Well, you've seen it because you've seen my check-in pictures for today. It's great. Love my TikTok padded bra.
Yeah, it is quite a nice bra, but I don't think it'd suit me.
No, it's probably a little bit
Thriller.
frilly for you.
It is. Well, this has been incredible, mate. It's been a good pod.
Been cathartic for me. Thank you.
What's that mean?
Like it's been good to talk about it.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Gonna go and have my lunch now.
Treat yourself, mate. I'm going to pick my granny up. My granny's coming to stay over.
Nice.
Gonna take her to the farm.
Oh, cute. All right. Thanks very much.
Thanks for listening, guys. See you on next week's episode.
Bye.